Hello everyone and welcome to another Twilight Zone Retro Review. Today it is Season 1, Episode 28, A Nice Place to Visit, written by Charles Beaumont, and starring Larry Blyden as Rocky and Sebastian Cabot as Mr. Pip. Okay, so before I start, I just want to say that this episode isn't great. It's pretty much just relies on one twist, which I'll go through, and that's pretty much what the whole episode relies on. So we get a man named Rocky, and he's robbing a place, and the police are after him, and he gets shot. That's our opening, and then we are introduced to a character named Mr. Pip, who is the other main character of the piece. Rocky wakes up and meets this man who tells him he's his guardian, and Rocky's not sure about this, and Mr. Pip convinces him by taking him to a very nice fancy place and telling him that it is his. He shows him around, and he's got a nice bedroom, a nice bathroom, all those types of things. He also gets a new wardrobe. So Rocky's very happy about all this. But he is somewhat suspicious. So ultimately what happens is Mr. Pip offers him some food, and Rocky tells him to eat it because he thinks maybe he's trying to do him in. When Mr. Pip refuses to eat the food, Rocky basically takes shots at him, which have absolutely no effect. So after a little bit more time passes, Rocky deduces that he must be in the afterlife, and that Pip must be his guardian angel. So we go through more of the episode, and we get Rocky basically having all these women now that he wants and gambling, and he's winning. He just keeps winning. He has a fancy car, and this is basically just what happens throughout most of the rest of the episode. But then he starts to suspect, he just can't get over the fact of why he's there, why he made it to this place when he didn't really do a lot of good things. So Pip tells him that they can go to the Hall of Records and look up his stuff. Well, when we get to the Hall of Records, all we hear about is all the bad things that Rocky did. So now he's really confused. He says a mistake must have been made, but he's not going to question his good fortune. So he goes back to his gambling and his ladies, and he starts to get bored because all he does is win at everything, and everything is so predictable. It always turns out perfect for him. Somewhat interesting concept. So what we get from there is he calls Pip and tells him this. He says everything is boring. All I do is win. I know the outcome. And, Pip tells him, well, maybe I could have you lose once in a while. But Rocky's argument is that if I know I'm going to lose, then it defeats the purpose of the chance, the excitement, the thrill. So then Pip tells him, maybe you should go back to what you used to do, which is, robbing places. He says there's a nice place on the corner. And, Rocky at first is excited, but then he thinks about it, and, he says, is there any chance I'll get caught at all? And Pip tells him, well, if there want there to be, I can make one. But Rocky's upset because he says that, again, it's all predetermined. So no matter what, everything is predetermined. So now Rocky's really upset. He tells Pip he doesn't belong there, and he wants to go to the other place. He'll fit in better there. And the big twist of the episode is that Mr. Pip tells him he's already in the other place, and he laughs, and that's how we finish. Now, while I do like the overall concept, I think it's interesting that, because everything is too perfect and there's no thrill or excitement or anything, that's actually becomes the hindrance or the bad thing as opposed to a good thing, like you would think. Now, I'm not going to debate too much if that would really be true or not, that if you got everything you wanted, would it become boring or not? I'll let people decide that on their own, but I do think it's an interesting concept. But a lot of other things about this episode just aren't that good. The script is basically one note, and even though I've seen this episode before, I think even the first time about halfway through you can pretty much figure this one out and know where it's going. It's pretty obvious. Maybe it wasn't as obvious to audiences back in the day, but it's pretty obvious. It doesn't really hold up from a modern standard. And also the heaven-like place and the hell-like place. There's no real complexity to it. It's all very just cut and dry, there's not much else to it. And the acting doesn't help either. Sebastian Cabot's okay as Mr. Pip. Larry Blyden's way over the top as Rocky, and he's got this goofy laugh that's just more annoying than funny or anything else. But I don't totally blame the acting. I think part of it is that the script just wasn't that good, so they maybe overcompensated with the acting a bit. But like I said, because of the overall concept of getting everything you want becoming boring, whether I agree or not, I'm not sure, but I give the episode credit for that. I like that twist, but everything else is just pretty much one note and doesn't work. But the episode's slightly entertaining. It's not as bad as like Four of Us Are Dying or Elegy. So I'll go a little higher, and I'll give A Nice Place to Visit a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 for A Nice Place to Visit. Thanks for watching.